what's up? Hello, my name is Emma, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the books I plan to read for the summer biannual bibliothon. If you are a longtime watcher of my channel, I am sure you have heard of the bibliothon before. I am actually one of the co-founders of this readathon. We started it in the winter of 2015, and we are still going strong today. The biannual bibliothon is a week-long readathon that happens twice a year. It is just a week of reading and booktubing and Instagramming and blogging, and it is just so much fun. I have left links to all of the necessary information if you would like to join us for this upcoming bibliothon, which is happening Saturday, July 14th to Sunday, July 20th. The reading challenges and video challenges have already been announced. I'm pretty sure the blog challenges have been as well, and I believe the Instagram challenges are coming soon. As many of you may know, while I am a co-founder of this readathon, I've also been a co-host for all of the rounds previously, but this is my first time stepping down as a host, but I will still be a participant. There's no piping hot tea reason behind why I'm not hosting this year. The bibliothon hosts are still some of my very best friends. I talk to them every single day. It's just my final summer before I start grad school, and my life is a little hectic right now, and I didn't want to not be able to follow through with my host duties, so I just wanted to be a loyal participant, and I am really excited to share with you guys the books that I plan to read next week. Now, the first challenge, as always, is to read the group book. For every round, us as a readathon, as a community, we choose one book that we can aim to read all together during the week of the readathon. You do not have to if you don't want to, or you don't have access to a copy, or if you've already read it, you don't have to reread it. It's just a way for us to sort of stick together through the readathon, because we do have a live show following the readathon where we discuss the book like a little book club. So the group book for the summer 2018 Biannual Bibliothon is The Wicked Deep by Shia Earnshaw. The Wicked Deep follows three sister witches who have been drowned, but every summer they return to their town and take over the hearts of three young girls in order to get vengeance. Our protagonist's name is Penny, and she is a local to the town of Sparrow. She is very familiar with the witch's return, but a new boy named Bo shows up in town, and he is not prepared for what is about to go down. And so it is just all about the chaos that happens this summer when the witches return. It's all about Penny trying to save herself, trying to save Bo, and just everything chaotic that happens. People have been raving about this book. I've heard really good things, and I also think it's just a good fit for this readathon. For so many group books, we've done contemporary and stuff. We haven't focused on fantasy as much, so I'm really excited to see what we all think of it. The next challenge is to pick a book off of somebody else's TBR. I actually filmed the process of me watching a TBR and choosing a book, so I will head right into that clip now. So I'm not excited for this challenge. I just don't like the idea of reading off of somebody else's TBR. I want to read what I want to read. So I'm going to be super lenient and flexible for this challenge, and I don't care if it's not fully in line with the rules. I'm basically just gonna go through my subscription box and watch a bunch of TBRs. I'll watch them in order of upload date, and if I find something that I have physically to read that I'm interested, or else if there's something I'm interested in and I'm considering getting it on Audible or Overdrive, but like I'm gonna be really picky with this challenge and I don't feel bad about it. So the first TBR on here is actually one of her hosts, Cassie from Miss Sassy Cassie. I'm assuming this is also going to be her Bibliothon TBR, so that should be exciting. Oh, could I maybe read Labyrinth Loft for this one? Because I've been wanting to read that for forever and I haven't gotten up to it. So can I like count it maybe? I'm shocked that the first book I watched is the one that I'm interested in. Oh, so it's actually on her TBR, I think. So then maybe I can use Labyrinth Lost. Not really interested in doing it at the moment. I just don't feel like reading a nonfiction. Oh my god, I read this in high school and I did not like it, given I was a very different reader then, so maybe I would enjoy it now, but there's no way I'm picking this one up.
I'm also currently listening to on audio A Dance with Dragons.
Okay, no, we're not reading Game of Thrones this readathon. Not happening.
The audiobook is 48 hours long.
Ew, that's why!
Is Undead Girl Gang by Lily
I just finished Undead Girl Gang a few days ago and I loved it. It was so good.
And the last book I want to get to this month is When Dimple Met
Oh, okay, I've
Rishi,
already read
it's
When
not
Dimple
gonna
Met
end.
Rishi,
This
so
is
I'm not
exactly
gonna
what
reread
they're
that
gonna
one.
do.
So based off of Cassie's TBR, I definitely think that I could read Labyrinth Lost this readathon. I have been, for no reason, pushing it off for so many years. And maybe, like, this is destiny. Maybe this is the push I needed to finally read it. You know what? I was considering watching a few TBRs and picking, but Cassie's just fit me really well, so I'm gonna go with Labyrinth Lost for this one. So yes, the book that will be completing this challenge is off of Miss Sassy Cassie's TBR, and it is Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. Like I said, I have no idea why I have been putting off this book for so many years, because I'm really excited for it and I'm sure I'm going to love it, but I think it just appearing to me in Cassie's TBR was a sign that this is when I need to read this book. If you haven't heard of Labyrinth Lost, it follows a bruja named Alex who hates magic. Unfortunately for her, she is also the most powerful witch of her generation, so on her death day party, she decides to perform a spell that will rid her of her magic forever. Unfortunately, the spell backfires and her entire family disappears, so she has to team up with this mysterious boy whom she can't really trust in order to try and get them back. I have met Zoraida Cordova so many times. She is such a kind woman. I love her, and I honestly feel bad that it's taken me this long to read her book just because she's such a nice person, but I have really high hopes for Labyrinth Lost, and I really think I'm going to enjoy it. With the Bibliothon, you are also able to double up on challenges. So for example, you can have one book complete 2 challenges. So I'm going to be using Labyrinth Lost for another challenge, and that is to read a book that has been on your TBR for over a year, because like I said, I have been wanting to read this book since like 2015, 2016, whenever it first came out. And I just haven't yet, and it's time. It is time for me to finally read Labyrinth Lost, and I'm really, really excited. The next challenge is to pick 3 books that you are interested in, read the first chapter of each, and then pick 1 book that you will continue with for the readathon. So the 3 books I have chosen are City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero, and Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. Now, I actually filmed my first initial just finished the chapter reactions to each of these 3 books, so I will show you what I thought of all of them, and then I will reveal what my choice is. So I just read the first chapter of City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. The first chapter is only 13 pages, so it's pretty short, but I loved it. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read the children's books Ghostfell Elementary. They were like one of my favorite books to get from the Scholastic Book Fair, and so far City of Ghosts really reminds me of it. I guess because it's about like a young girl who is finding ghosts in her school. At least that's what was the first chapter. So it is feeling a little nostalgic, and I'm really loving it. This one is definitely a contender for my read 3 books, pick 1 challenge for this Bibliothon. So I just read what I'm gonna say is the first chapter of Meddling Kids. Honestly, I think it might have been more of a prologue because it happened before the page that says part 1, but it was 10 pages, and I figured if I was gonna read those 10 pages plus the actual first chapter, I just thought it would be an unfair advantage on City of Ghosts, so I think it's better that I try and keep them at the same number of pages to get a similar experience. I love the writing style of this book. It is just so delectable. I definitely am going to enjoy my time reading this book. I will say I originally thought this was YA, but I think it might be adult. The main characters at the start of the story are in their mid-20s, and it honestly just reads more like an adult than a YA, but I'm definitely I'm interested in it. I'm just not sure if it's necessarily what I'm in the mood for during a readathon. I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet if it would be better when I can just really invest myself in it, but we'll see. And so I just finished the first chapter of Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I read 10 pages. There was a few page prologue and then the rest of the chapter. I really enjoyed it. I love Libba Bray's writing style, and her sense of humor is just already shining through. I can tell that this is going to be a very, very fun YA read for me, whether I get to it during the Bibliothon or if I read it in the future. But it seems really interesting, and I'm definitely intrigued to see where the rest of the story goes just from the first chapter. Now, after reading all 3 first chapters and discovering that each of these books are ones that I think I will really enjoy, books that I definitely plan on finishing in the future because I think I will really enjoy them, the one book that I feel just fits my mood best right now and I think will be a really great fit for this bibliothon is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. City of Ghosts follows a girl named Cassidy who, after drowning, was given the ability to pull back the veil, which is the place between the spirit world and the human world, so she's able to interact with ghosts. Cass's parents are filming a TV show for the world's most haunted places, so she travels to Edinburgh with her parents to seek out some of the most abandoned, haunted, and chilling places. While there, Cass meets a girl who also shares her gift, the first person whom she's ever known to also be able to interact with spirits, but she finds out that the veil is much more complicated than she realizes and also much more dangerous. I can tell from the first chapter of this book that I'm going to be loving it. I'm also really in a middle grade mood lately. I don't know what it is. This is so out of character for me, but I know I'm making the right decision by picking to read City of Ghosts now, and I will definitely be getting to Meddling Kids and Beauty Queens in the future because I think they are equally great. The next challenge is to pick a predicted 5-star read, a book that you think you're going to wholeheartedly love before even starting it. Now, for this challenge, I knew I wanted to pick up one of my advanced reader copies of books that are coming out in a few months because there are so many and the bibliothon is the perfect excuse for me to get started on them. So I wanted to pick something that comes out fairly soon. So I decided on Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I'm finally reading Heretics Anonymous and I'm so excited. Heretics Anonymous has been one of my most anticipated reads of the year. It just sounds so great and wonderful and I have been dying to read it. I've had this copy of this book since March and it has been a struggle waiting until summertime so that I can actually talk about it around the time when people are going to be reading it once it's in stores. Heretics Anonymous follows a boy named Michael who is an atheist forced to attend a Catholic school. Michael desperately needs a friend, and he's particularly looking for another non-believer. He thinks he's found them when a girl named Lucy challenges a teacher's ideals in class, but it turns out that Lucy is not an atheist, she wants to be a priest. Despite their differences, Michael and Lucy do form a friendship, and Lucy introduces him to this sort of underground secret society at school called Heretics Anonymous, which is for all of the outcasts of this Catholic school. So to describe this eclectic group, it says, in Heretics Anonymous, where Michael can be an atheist, Lucy can be an outspoken feminist, Abby can be Jewish and gay, Max can wear whatever he wants, and Eden can practice paganism. After joining this new group, Michael encourages the rest of the heretics to go on a mission of exposing the school's hypocrisies, but things turn sour when Michael gets his friends in a little bit deeper than they expected, and he has to make things right. Heretics Anonymous just sounds so dope. I'm so excited to read it. I feel like I've never hyped a book individually for myself more than Heretics Anonymous. So I'm really expecting to love it, and I cannot wait to share my thoughts on it with you guys. And moving on to the final book I plan to read for this summer Biannual Bibliothon, it is going to be completing 2 challenges. One for the challenge of read an own voices book from somebody with an identity different from yourself, and the last book that you bought. So my pick for those challenges is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Easy enough explanation for one challenge, this is just the last book that I bought. As for the own voices representation, I do know that the author is Singaporean, and I asked Twitter to confirm if this book was own voices or not, and I got a lot of responses from people who have read it saying it is, so I'm very excited to read it. So our main character's name is Rachel, and she's going to be spending the summer in Singapore with her boyfriend named Nick. But Nick failed to mention that not only is his family extremely wealthy, but he is also the country's most eligible bachelor. So the story follows Rachel and Nick through their summer in Singapore with all of the wild scandals and adventures that come with this new situation that Rachel was not expecting. Crazy Rich Asians just sounds like such a fun story. I've heard it compared to Gossip Girl, and while I have never watched or read Gossip Girl, whoops, I do think it's something that I would really enjoy. There is also a movie adaptation for Crazy Rich Asians that is coming out very soon, and I knew I wanted to watch the movie, but of course I wanted to read the book beforehand. So I am super interested to see my thoughts on it coming this bibliothon. So these are the 5 books I plan to read for this upcoming summer biannual bibliothon. As as for what you guys can expect from me in this coming week, I'm not going to be participating in any of the video challenges, but I will be uploading daily reading vlogs of my progress and whatnot, which you guys seem to love and I love filming, so I'm very, very excited for them. Throughout the week, you can also catch me on Twitter. I will be following along with all of the Biannual Bibliothon Twitter sprints they are doing, where we just all set a specific time to all read together and read as much as we can, and they are so much fun. But that really concludes my TBR, and you guys will have to check back for my reading vlog progress or else watch for what I finish in my Bibliothon wrap up. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you guys are considering participating in the Summer Biannual Bibliothon, which I would highly recommend no matter how you participate, whether you want to do all the challenges, if you only want to do the reading ones, if you only want to do the blogging ones or Instagram ones. I highly recommend you join us. And if you are participating, let me know some books on your TBR in the comments down below. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!